Alright, imagine this. You walk into a showroom thinking you're just browsing, and suddenly there's this SUV staring at you like it already knows. You're about to spend money you didn't plan to spend. That's the vibe the 2026-27 Mazda CX-100 gives. But here's the real question. Is it actually worth your attention? Or is it just another good-looking but average SUV? Because let's be honest, we've seen plenty of those lately. So today I'm breaking it down. No hype, no nonsense. Just the real deal from a buyer's point of view. First thing you notice is the design. Mazda clearly didn't play it safe here. The CX-100 looks sharp, low, and more aggressive than most SUVs in this segment. It almost feels like a mix between a coupe and an SUV, which is great visually, but also raises a question. Are we sacrificing practicality for style? The front grille is bold but not overdone. The LED headlights are sleek, and the overall stance feels premium. But yeah, if you like boxy traditional SUVs, this might not be your taste. Step inside and things get interesting. Mazda has been quietly improving interiors for years, and this one continues that trend. Materials feel upscale, soft-touch surfaces, clean layout and minimal clutter. It's not trying too hard to look futuristic, which is honestly refreshing. But rear seat space, that's where reality hits a bit. Because of that sloping roofline, taller passengers might feel slightly cramped. So if you're planning long family trips, that's something to think about. Now tech, and this is where Mazda usually plays it a little differently. Instead of going full giant tablet glued on dashboard, they've kept things controlled. You get a large infotainment screen, but it's more driver-focused. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are expected. And the system should be smooth. But don't expect Tesla-level flashiness. Some people will love that simplicity, others might feel it's a bit too conservative. What do you prefer, flashy screens or easy usability? Let's talk AI. This is where things are evolving fast, and Mazda is expected to bring smarter voice controls and adaptive driving assistance. Think of a system that learns your driving habits, your routes, your preferences, even your climate settings. But let's be real, most of these AI features sound cooler in theory than they actually feel in daily use. The real test? How often do you actually use it after the first week? Performance. Now this is important. The CX-100 is expected to sit above the CX-90, which means we're likely getting strong engine options, possibly hybrid or plug-in hybrid setups. Mazda has been focusing on smooth power delivery rather than crazy horsepower numbers. So don't expect neck-snapping acceleration, but do expect a refined, balanced drive. Compared to something like a Toyota Highlander, this might feel more engaging. Compared to a sporty BMW X5, not quite there, but also not trying to be. Driving feel is where Mazda usually shines. Steering tends to be precise, handling is tighter than most SUVs, and it doesn't feel like a big, lazy vehicle. That said, if you're expecting ultra-soft comfort like a Lexus, this might feel slightly firm. It's more of a driver's SUV than a floaty cruiser, so again, depends on what you like. Safety should be solid. Mazda's iActive Sense suite is expected to include all the usual stuff: adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and probably some upgraded autonomous features. Nothing revolutionary, but definitely reliable. And honestly, that's what matters more. Now practicality, and here's where things get real. Cargo space should be decent, but not class-leading. That sporty design slightly limits usability. Fuel efficiency, especially if hybrid options come in, should be competitive. But if you want maximum space and utility, something like a Kia Telluride might still beat it. So ask yourself, do you want style or maximum practicality? Market positioning is interesting. The CX-100 seems like Mazda's attempt to push further into the premium space, without fully becoming a luxury brand. It sits in that gap and more refined than mainstream SUVs, but cheaper than true luxury options. And that's actually a smart move, because a lot of buyers are stuck exactly in that middle. So final verdict, the 2026-27 Mazda CX-100 looks like a strong, stylish, slightly premium SUV that prioritizes driving feel and design over maximum practicality. Expected price? Probably somewhere between $45,000 to $60,000 depending on trims. Launch? Likely late 2026 or early 2027. Would I recommend it? If you want something that feels different, looks sharp and drives better than average, yes. But if you need maximum space and comfort for a big family, you might want to look elsewhere. So now I want to ask you, would you pick this over something like a Highlander or a Telluride? Or does Mazda still feel like a maybe brand to you? And that's it for today. If you enjoyed this honest breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. MoboCar Reviews, and keeping it real, always.